Amish Matchmakers, and come to you live. Get my coffee. Everything seems to be delayed this morning, but I'm here, ready to finish strong. It is a pleasure and a blessing to be here with you and to share what little bit of wisdom I have from years and years and years of experience doing life. Take it or leave it. We help singles find godly spouses, create epic marriages, and develop a legacy that is rooted and founded in faith, freedom, and above all else, love. Love is the key. And I'm grateful for love. Love is what keeps me going. It really is. Oftentimes, I see so much in the world, see so much in people, see so much in myself when I get discouraged, how I fall short in things that I do, ways that I fail. And I'm like, wow. But then the Father reminds me it's all about love. Love is the key. So then I regroup and I say, okay, what does love look like? So that's what I want to ask you this morning. If you're here with me and listening in, what does love look like to you? What does it mean to love? If you're going to sum it up in one or two words or a phrase of some sort, what would you say love is? If you're here this morning looking for love, come to the right place. We help lots of people. We've helped over 30 people in the last 5 years, 6 years now, going on 6 years. Guess we're at like right at 30 or 31 people, or not people, couples. So I guess that would mean about over 60 people we've helped to directly match up and get them married and influence them, mentor them along the way. So it's been a beautiful journey. Then we've helped and influenced thousands of people over the years through our webinars, through our challenges, Fast Track to Marriage Challenge. Now we do single to married. We support Jess and Adina Kaufman and their community in helping singles to become just ready, aware of the things they're doing that's keeping them from being married. So, again, my question to you is, what does love look like to you? Because that is the thing. We everyone has a different version of what love is, and I'd love to hear yours. I really would. What does love mean to you? What does love look like to you? What do you think is a way to express love? Because there's a whole community and culture that we serve, the Amish, that don't even normally, again, every time I say this, someone comes in and says, well, that's not true about how I was raised. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm saying normally. Normally, like, let's call it the 80-20 rule. 80% of the Anabaptist culture does not say, I love you, does not touch, does not have even the word in their language or phrase in their language for I love you. So it's real. And so I wonder what your thoughts are on that. What love is. Love to hear from you on that. Because how you see love is how you see life and how you see yourself loving others. It really is. What you believe love is how you'll express and show love to others. And so that's important to know, understand. What do you believe about love? And why do you believe that about love? So, wow, that light is really close. So love is 6'7" to you, okay? right. We got 1 Corinthians 13, lovers, the greatest gift. Love is the greatest gift. 1 Corinthians 13. All right, thanks. Let's look that up. Because again, I'm grateful that you know the verses and that you know the Bible. That's awesome. And what it says. I really am. That's good. And I agree that's, however, I want to understand how you apply it practically. How do you apply that practically? Oh, let's see if 1 Corinthians, I think I know what it is, what love is. That's what it says. What does love mean to you? I'm a Protestant priest. Okay, cool. If I speak, but I have not love. 1 Corinthians 13. Pulling it up here so I can read it. This is what love is to this Protestant. You say Protestant. I'm a Protestant priest, okay. And he says, love is greatest gift. Verse 13. It's in service of our Lord. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. I'll say hey, bro, to you. That's nice. All right, let's see. 1 Corinthians 13. The Excellence of Love is the title here. So, if I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, then I have become only a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have the gift of prophecy and speak a new message from God to the people and understand all mysteries and possess all knowledge, and if I have all sufficient faith so that I remove mountains, but I do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all my possessions to feed the poor, and if I surrender my body, to be burned, but do not have love, it does me no good at all. Okay, and that's the amplified version, by the way, what I just read from. Okay, so now, what is love? Love endures with patience and serenity. Love is kind, thoughtful. Love is not jealous or envious. Love does not brag and is not proud or arrogant. It's not rude. It's not self seeking. It's not provoked. It does not take into account a wrong endured. It does not rejoice in injustice, but it rejoices with truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. All right. So let's stop right there for a second because we got a picture of what and I have a gift, it's talking about all these different gifts you have, but if you have not love, and then it talks about how love endures, patience and serenity, and love is kind, thoughtful. So, but what does that mean on a practical level? again, this is the most widely used one for what love is, and I agree. I'm not saying it's wrong, because it's not. It's right on. However, what does that mean to you? See, that's where it's different, because people quote this verse, and I agree 100%. And what I'm asking though is, what does that look like to do those things? When you read that and it says, um, love endures with patience and serenity, like, what does that mean to endure? Endure what and how? How do you endure? Because again, the things that are said in this chapter are very good, obviously, and I agree with them 100%. The difference is and not a difference. The challenge is what does that mean to you? So you can ask 100 people what patience and serenity is, and each one will give you different levels. Tell you Some will tell you that you know that you just don't get upset when someone calls your name. Some will say that you allow people to just, you don't respond to people walking all over you. I mean, there's different levels of what patience could look like in serenity. Love is kind and thoughtful. Well, what does kind and thoughtful mean and look like to you, to be kind and thoughtful? Because this is great, and I agree 100%. However, the challenge is always that people say these things and they don't even understand how to practically apply it, or they don't even know what that means to do it. To be kind and thoughtful, to be kind and thoughtful could be giving $1 to a homeless person, right? But to someone, like, I'm not giving $1 to a homeless person, they're just going to spend it on alcohol. Well, that's not kind and thoughtful. See, everyone has their opinion of what each thing is. And I'm not even saying that it's right or wrong that you have an opinion, or that one way is better than the other. I'm just saying that people get caught up so much in saying what to do here that they don't actually take action steps that are practical to fulfill those things. That's what I'm after here. So, and it says what love is not. Love is not jealous or envious. Love does not brag, does not proud or arrogant. Now it's interesting because, again, we've got all these don't. What it is not. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not provoked. It does not take into account a wrong endured. It does not rejoice in injustice, does but rejoices with truth. So if we were to put this into a better language, it might even make better sense, and it might make it easier for us to do these things, right? So 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7, right? No, love never fails. Amen. So 1 Corinthians 4, or sorry, 13, 4 through 7. That's what I'm trying to do. 13, 4 through 7. I prefer having things be said of where you should go and what you should do versus not. Do not, do not. And I'm curious because, again, when you go back to the original writing, it'll be interesting to see if things were listed as yeah, listed out as things to do, things to not do, and that was on purpose to get you to think on these things, to see which choice you make. Because the word does say those things, to think on these things. Love moves with patience and acts with kindness. Love celebrates others and walks in humility. Love honors people and carries itself with integrity. Love is driven. Love is steady and unshaken. Love releases offense and stays aligned with truth. Love protects, believes the best, expects good, and endures through it all. It's interesting because, again, see all these comments. Maybe I needed to delete some people or block them because they're being rude. There's a lot of them, though. Thank you. Love is the greatest gift. How many wives do you have? How many churches have you been through? What is the purpose of this channel? Churches. Trying to get a grasp on what's going on here. How many churches have you preached at? All these conversations. Interesting how this talking about love. Could you give me a practical way to love? Since all you guys are here having conversations about this Protestant priest. Private relationships with our Lord. Okay. Sorry, going through a bunch of comments now. Give from your heart. All right, there's something good there. Look at that. It says you're kind, you're smart, beautiful, keep shining because the world needs your light more than you know. I hope you have an amazing day or night. Well, thank you. That's awesome. Talking about love, that's a beautiful example of what love is. Beautifully thought provoking. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I was yesterday was sharing with a group of hello from India. Welcome. Yesterday I was sharing with a group of men, um, men's Bible study. And, love comes up because that's what we were discussing about his creation code and how to love ourselves and our identity. And it's interesting when we start talking about our identity. And those of you who've been on our channel know that we have three core activities, which is triggers to triumph, epic 30, and MVP. It would actually be triggers to triumph, MVP, and then epic 30. Epic 30 is putting our life into action and creating repetition, where in 30 minutes a day to become epic. And what that looks like is connecting to the Father, loving others, loving self, loving others, and loving the Father first, loving self, and then loving others. And others being your spouse first, or actually, when I say love yourself, I literally mean your spouse as well, because I see and believe that as we become one flesh, that Father literally sees us as one. And I believe I can prove that scripturally because it is very powerful when you become one flesh. That's why it's only meant to be with one wife. I do believe in that, and that connection and deep love and affection that you'll not experience with anyone else is meant and designed for one spouse. So, with that said, um, sorry, yeah, I got off on a little squirrel. Yesterday, when I was sharing, we were talking about his creation code and for success based on the example in Genesis, the 7 days of creation in Genesis. And we got into what we call day 3, which is planting seeds. And hopefully you watched that yesterday or attended that. If not, there is a recording here. It's my live from yesterday. And it was live and unscripted and uncut. And I just talk while I was there with the men. So you get to attend the men's Bible study with me, essentially. And I was sharing about creation code, his creation code. And one of the things we talked about was the MVP. That's what we got to is developing your MVP and then going to share it with the world, telling others about it. And part of what always comes up when we're doing an MVP, someone always shares that I want to do the will of the Father and I just want to love well and be do what the Father tells me to do and be a blessing and light or life to the world. So if I'm being life to the world, what do I do to be life to the world? Like, what does that look like, though? That's like saying I want to love well and be a lover of the Father and lover of man and humanity, I guess is better said. But what does that look like? That's what always comes up because people say that. But what does that mean? How today can you go out and the work that you do, the job that you have, the communication you have with people in the world, whether it's a server at a restaurant, whether it's a, someone working at a store or someone attending to your needs in some way or another, can you give them love? And how do you show them love? Do you learn about them? Are you genuinely interested in their life, even in the few seconds that you have with them, maybe in passing at a grocery store or at a hardware store? Are you willing and are you able to? Do you have the skills to communicate in such a way that would show them love? That's the question. And what then does love look like? In a practical way, what does show kindness? What does all the don'ts are fine. And again, it's giving you a gauge to where if you're loving well, you will be beyond those things, right? I get that. And love moves with patience and expresses itself through kindness. Love celebrates others and walks in humility. Love honors people and carries itself with integrity. Love gives generously and remains steady and grounded. Love releases freely and stays aligned with truth. Love protects, believes the best, expects good, and endures with strengths. Okay, so doing a deep dive on this, um, scripture is written a certain way with all the knots, right? Jealousy, pride, offense, competition, immaturity. So it's interesting because even in those times, they were constantly battling with right and wrong of the mind and negative mindset. So love does not envy, does not boast. He's naming, in through the word, they're naming the distortions people are currently living in. Um, like a doctor would say, you have this disease or that disease. So focusing on love, then what would that look like? To say, instead of saying love does not envy, love does not boast. It's kind of like a contrast of light versus darkness, wisdom versus folly, flesh versus spirit, life versus death. Um, so it's trying to bring clarity by identifying the things that you will face, identifying the things that will tempt you versus love. So it's really interesting, even how love does not keep wrongdoings and does not envy. Well, people, these are agreements and things that people are holding on to, and this is where our triggers to triumph will shift that. But in order to shift it, sometimes we have to identify what it is. So if we know that we're challenged in dealing with envy, if we know when we're challenged with looking at everybody's wrongdoings, right? It helps us to go, okay, so this is what I'm currently doing. I can see that I'm doing that. And that's not what love is. So how do I do the opposite? That's where love comes in and changing that story to a love story versus a condemnation or criticism story. And so it is a powerful, important thing to identify what love is not, but just for the sake of seeing, oh my goodness, I have had some envy, I have had some strife, I have been keeping record of wrongdoings. So it does make a difference where the father wants to tell you what direction to go in. So if I'm saying, well, um, love does not keep record of wrongdoings, I can also say, okay, is that happening in my life? Well, okay, I have done that. I have been keeping record of wrongdoings, and the list is growing longer and longer and longer. Well, instead, can I keep record of all the blessings they're doing? That person is, and how considerate and kind they are, all the good things about them. Can I keep record of that instead? Because that will lead me to a better place to think of them in those ways. To think on these things is to see them, think of them that way. So it's always addressing the mind. Love, such a powerful thing. And Jesus models this when he says, follow me. He's forward thinking. Stop sinning and go this way. You have heard, but I say, it's a contrasting word. So he reveals, he corrects, and then he elevates you to do the better, because that's the language of the Father. And so Yeshua takes us through the process of going towards what the Father wants us to be and sees us as our identity. And his example is super powerful through the word. Oh my goodness. Come on, it's Friday. Let's go. All right, let's see what we got here. Some comments. Hopefully it's very beneficial. I don't love anything. Okay. Lost my faith in God. It's understandable. The Jewish people are God's chosen people. I do agree with that. So I'm grateful for God's chosen people. I am very, very love the Shema, which is a prayer for Israel. Been lots of war going on right now. But just take a moment to think and bless those who have fallen in war. Send love to their families. Blessings. It's a crazy thing. Interesting times we're in. We need love more than ever. Love for the Father, love for ourselves, and love for others. We really do. So, how do you love the Father? What's a practical way? Well, I just say that I love him, right? Or what is it that shows your actions will speak louder than your words? So, what actions are you willing to take to show love? It's a very powerful thing. So, I hope that love finds you today. Um, one thing that we do is the triggers of triumph. Really, it's a disruption of your current story through the process of recognizing that your story may be a victim story instead of a story of hope, maybe a story of shame and guilt, a story of frustration, story of pain, hurt. And so it then creates a victim mentality and negative mindset. And yes, it is a defense mechanism. Your brain gets overwhelmed with all the pain and suffering maybe you've been through. So then it creates these negative narrative, negative story in your mind for survival. So I get it. And so there is an opportunity, though, for you to change and to make a decision to choose love and to choose to not be controlled by the story of your childhood, be controlled by the story that is repeated over and over and over in your life. Life is about cycles. So are those cycles taking you to become better? Are those cycles making you better? Are those cycles blessing you? Are those cycles causing you to improve? Are those cycles bringing transformation and change for your blessing, for your benefits? Or are those cycles leading to death and destruction? Are those generational habits, if you would, leading you down a road that will bring death and destruction? The word says, you shall know them by their fruit. So, what is the fruit? What is the fruit that you are creating through your actions, or you are creating by discipling or guiding and leading others? Would you eat of that fruit? Would you eat it? It's a very important question. Through our process, we Triggers Triumph, we help people to create a new story. We do our best to disrupt their story and give them a better one, a story of hope, a story of love, a story of a hero that you're live listening to this video right now. So you have an opportunity to create a new story. You have an opportunity to be a hero in your story. You really do. You got to decide, though, if you want to continue to be a victim or if you want to rewrite your story and be one who thrives, one who is the hero, one who has not just survived, but one who is thriving, one who is living their best life, living an epic life. It matters how you see your story. It matters. So that's Triggers Triumph. And then we talk about MVP. As you have a better story, then now you're no longer a victim. Now you are the hero. Now you can see that, man, I survived all this trauma, all this hurt and pain. I must be very powerful, more powerful than I knew. And then you start writing and understanding that story of being empowered, that story of love, that story of blessings, that story of where I'm moving towards and what I'm becoming. It's powerful. And that's where you write your MVP, your mission for life, your vision of your best identity, and your uniqueness, how you are. When Father knit you in the womb of your mama, how did he make you unique and precious, a one of a kind? What about you is that one of a kind feature? You are Father, you are Papa's precious possession. It's a beautiful thing. So what did he do to make you unique? That's your peculiar. So MVP, mission, vision, passion, maybe mission, vision. Peculiar though is the word, and it is hard to say. It was funny yesterday. Some of the men were having a hard time saying peculiar. So peculiar is a thing that is sets you apart from everyone else on the planet, and that is how the Father designed you on purpose, because you're a gift to Him and a gift to humanity. You really are. So what is your MVP? Once you write your MVP, and you can declare it, you can live it, you can walk it out. And how do you do that? Well, the practical application then becomes Epic 30. It's loving the Father, releasing so you can receive, so you can give. Release, receive, give. Release, receive from the Father, and then give. Release, receive, and then give. Release, receive, and then give. Gets you of love. And so Epic 30 does that by releasing any junk and things that's holding on to us through journaling. There's other ways you can release too, but that's the fastest, most efficient way. Even in 3 to 4 minutes, you can write some things out and release. And then receive wisdom through a random Bible search from the Father. Receive how much He loves you, and then give to others that message that the Father gave to you. Go share it with someone, because that's what makes it even more ingrained in your heart, body, soul, and spirit. And then go share with somebody gratitude. Go share with someone edification. Go share with someone life giving words of kindness. It's a powerful process, and it works. It's through that repetition that gives us a language, makes us more confidence, gives us better communication skills, and creates the muscle of commitment to something good in your life, a habit that's beneficial versus a habit that is destroying you or hurting you or destroying or hurting others. New habits matter. That's what will, little things done well over time are really what create either the blessing and the miracle or the big burden and the big destruction. You get to decide today which one you want to choose. All right. Hey, thanks. Bro's on to something. Bro's on. Nice words. I get it. Awesome. Malachi 4. I will send the prophet Elijah before the great and terrible day of the Lord. That didn't happen when John the Baptist showed up. John even said he wasn't Elijah. So how is Jesus Messiah? That's for another conversation. Is that really what you want to have, that conversation? Ah, cheers. Well, I wish you a great day. Go out there and love well, and definitely walk out practical ways of loving. Like I said, our Epic 30 has been a beautiful, powerful thing that we have incorporated in to loving my wife well, loving my children well, and loving others well through the process of Epic 30, of receiving wisdom from the Father, and giving wisdom and love and affection through our words of honor, our words of gratitude, our words of edifying them in their goals and their dreams, their needs, moving towards helping them to have a better life. All those that are around me, I try to do my best to do that. So, so I asked myself, how can I not be a victim? And then I try to stay positive. I went to drugs for pain because it became suicidal, and then worked away because my son, but still unemployed. Yep, man, that's tough, brother. Sorry for what you're going through. And it is a challenge. And it is the repetition is what, just like, how people get addicted to drugs. Um, it is because the repetition of doing those drugs, they grab a hold of you, they create some sort of relief. So then believe me, I've been there, done that. And it creates cycles in our lives of we get triggered and then we medicate, we get the release or the relief, I guess, um, helps us to cope with life. And then we start all over. We feel guilty for doing it. And then it creates this vicious cycle. And yeah, it's habits. And then it creates a habit. So that's what has to change when you get triggered. What do you turn to? What do you use to cope? Because it's real that people need coping mechanisms to cope, or they would not live, not survive. It would be too overwhelming. So that's the question then. What do you want to turn to? What's your um, coping mechanism? Is it beneficial? Is it going to make you stronger mentally, emotionally, physically? Is it going to make you stronger in your relationships, your connections? What if you made your new habit, your new addiction, that every time you got triggered, that you went and started reading the word, started worshiping? That's one of the things that I did. Or what if you started just giving life to others when you were triggered, just created a habit of, okay, I'm going to send out 20 um, words of honor and edification and blessings. Matter of fact, when I used to get triggered, and I still do this at times actually, I will press play on Graham Cook Inheritance. It's a video on YouTube, Inheritance, Graham Cook, and it's talking about our inheritance is Him, the Father. Our inheritance is being loved and loving the Father, being loved by Him and loving others. It's a beautiful inheritance. Go check it out. Inheritance by Graham Cook. Graham Cook. And I think, again, I often turn to that. Like I said, when I get triggered, I look to things that will put my mind in a better space, put my thoughts moving towards something beneficial, and help me remember that I am loved through words, yes. But then I try to do my best. I do my best to take action on that love. And so says for sure I didn't make anything better other than physical pain, but ruined everything else. Video games are my coping mechanisms. All right. Well, thanks for being here today. Thanks for tuning in. My wife and I, we are the Amish Matchmakers. We help singles to find love, to get engaged and married, and we help them to then have an epic marriage. And from there, we help them to develop a legacy. And I believe that an epic life comes from first having an epic marriage, or in this men's edition, having an epic wife. And are you an epic man? A man that is full of life, full of drive? A woman loves a man with a plan that takes action on it, not just talks about it. So, what is your action steps to courting her, to pursuing her, and loving her well, adapting as life goes on too as well? Life can be challenging, and then what happens with your relationship with her? So, we do. My wife and I work together at helping others in love, marriage, and legacy that is rooted in faith, freedom, and above all else, love. So, this love talk has been amazing for me today. Hopefully, it was okay for you. Thanks for joining me. Would you do me a favor? Would you like and subscribe our channel, Amish Matchmakers, here on YouTube? If you're not on YouTube, you're watching from Facebook. Hey, can you follow us and just put some comments there on Facebook, and also, maybe give some thumbs up and stuff. It does matter. Then this content that we're creating will get shown to more people, and I'm super grateful for that. And also, same thing on liking and subscribing, hitting that notification bell on our YouTube channel. So when I go live, or when my wife and I go live, you'll get to be notified, and we'll keep creating content about love and about relationship. We'll keep bringing you our three core activities and explaining why they work so well and how they work. And I hope you'll stick around. I hope you'll gather more information while you're here and help you to have an epic life. That's what we want. That's what we work hard to see you have a good mentality, have a mind that will lead you and guide you to epic. God bless you. Love you. And I bless you this day. It's Friday, finish strong Friday. So go out there and do your best. Don't settle for just quitting halfway through the day. Go through, go through the finish line all the way through, and know that you are loved, you are blessed. And I'm grateful for all that you're doing to make this world a better place. What you've contributed today will make a difference. So go out there and make a difference, and know that your legacy, your family, your unborn children are waiting for you. The world is waiting for you to step up and show some love and show some kindness out there. God bless you. I am a catalyst for metamorphosis through kindness and intentional love. Have a great day.